Bitcoin weekly candle close is going to be very important. If we lose the 50 moving average, we could be entering the bear market. If we could stay above it, the bull market might still be in play. Let's find out what's going to happen. Welcome back to Flex Candle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. I'm Flex, and today we're diving into a full top-down analysis on Bitcoin. We're going to start from the higher time frames, work our way down to the lower time frames, and check to see if we find any good setup. Now remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just reading the chart. All right, guys, and before we start off with the top-down analysis, right now it's 4:45 p.m. Eastern time. The price of Bitcoin is currently at 104,740, and I left you guys with kind of like a falling wedge here on the 1 hour, breaking us up to about 105,000, and we are actually made it all the way up to about 105,070 around there. So congratulations to whoever took this play. This is another big win for the Flex Candle community. Now let's start off with the 2-week chart, and on the 2-week chart here is closing in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. We see that we're waking up from this gigantic red candle, and we're trying to stay above this 21 moving average at 103,734. The stochastics are still pointing down, but we need to stay above this 21 moving average in order to remain bullish, and so far so good, even though we still have about 2 hours and 15 minutes left. Now on the weekly chart, the 50 moving average is the one to me that will determine everything, and that's currently at 103,015. We are well above it at the moment. It looks like we might be closing above the 50 moving average. The stochastics RSI are starting to reset. I still think we might need another week or two before we could really start elevating ourselves up. Now remember, over here we had a wick below the 50 moving average. After that, the candle turned green, and we kept on going up ever since then. So this could be a possible scenario. As long as we don't close below this 50 moving average, I feel like we're safe. And even if we do close one, we will still have to close a second or third candle to really confirm that we are below the 50 moving average. So far this is good. Now this doesn't mean that next week all of a sudden we can't fall down to 91k and then by the end of the week be back above the 50 moving average. That could happen because this candle itself came down to 98k, and all of a sudden we're back at 105k today. Now on the other time frames, if you see the 3-day chart, we see that the stochastics are starting to roll back up. The RSI kind of looks like it's pointing up, and we've been able to regain the 100 moving average. We still have 2 days and 3 hours before this closes. On the daily chart now, the stochastics are reset. We have that bullish divergence on the stochastics RSI, and we're starting to point up on the stochastics and on the RSI. Now we do have a big green candle here. I'm not confident in bullishness yet unless we could get back above this 200 moving average, and that's at 110k 272. But let's see if we can make it at least to this 21 moving average at 108,236. Either we can make it to the 21 or the 200, and then from there we will probably reject. We would have to see where the stochastics are. If they're toppy and we're still hovering underneath the 200 moving average, that means that we might get rejected. Now I was thinking that this could have been an inverted head and shoulder with the left shoulder the head, and then we would have made the right shoulder here, but then that got negated. Now what I'm seeing is that this could be possibly an inverted head and shoulder where this is the left shoulder, and maybe we're making the head now, we make it up to the 200 moving average, or even maybe to this 100 moving average, which would be great. This is like at 113, and then from here we reject and then make a right shoulder, and eventually we're back up to like 120. But this will probably take us all the way to like December, so this is a possibility. Let's see what ends up happening. Now we head over to the other time frames, the 22-hour chart. We see that the stochastics are kind of starting to roll over. We still haven't made it above the 21 moving average. The 12-hour chart, we still have room to continue going up. Let's see what happens there. 8-hour chart, we're starting to get a little toppy. We did break the 21 moving average. This looks like an inverted head and shoulder. This could probably take us to the 50 moving average. That's at 108. So a lot of things are stating that it wants to make it at least to 108k before some type of reversal happens, if it is going to happen. 6-hour chart, we getting a double hump here as well. This is also looking like it wants to make it to the 50 moving average at 106k. On the 4-hour chart here, stochastics also starting to get a little toppy. We did get above the 21 moving average. This is starting to get a little bullish, and we're starting to break the 50 moving average as well. But I still don't feel confident unless we could get above this 200 moving average. That's at 110k 253. This also looks like a possible inverted head and shoulder, and this measured move would take us possibly to the 100 moving average once again to 108,123. But the stochastics are a little toppy. Let's see if maybe we drag here for a while. Look how we dragged here for a while before we fell down. So if you have a similar scenario, this could definitely play out. On the 1-hour chart, which is where we won that flag from yesterday, right here is looking like an inverted head and shoulder as well, and right now we're making the neckline. So if this does play out, the measured move to this would take us to approximately 109,500 around there. So it coincides with the 108k mark that I'm talking about. So this could be the next play. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. The stochastics are getting a little toppy. The 200 moving moving average. We are slightly above it at the moment, so that is definitely bullish that on a big time frame like the 1 hour, we're starting to get above the 200 moving average. Hopefully we don't get rejected since we are toppy. And now on the 15-minute chart, the stochastics are on the way down, coming off some bearish divergence here on the RSI. It looks like this does want to roll up, but we are above the 21 moving average. This kind of looks like a flag here, and this flag could possibly also bring us up to 106,261. So we also have a flag here on the 15-minute. Let's see if that plays out. So right now I feel like we are bullish for today to close above the 50 moving average on the weekly. Remember, tomorrow is Monday. That's usually a volatile day. Tuesday in the United States is Veterans Day, so stock markets are probably going to be closed. So this is going to be a volatile week. I wouldn't be surprised if we close the weekly above the 50 moving average, and then after that immediately probably start dumping. Let's see what ends up happening. But right now, that's what I'm seeing in the charts. All right, guys, so that's the breakdown. If this gave you clarity or a setup to watch, do me a favor, like, drop a comment, subscribe, and if you have a stock or crypto you want me to go over, drop it in the comment section. This is Flex Candle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. Catch you on the next chart.